girls lie. Let's all take one deep dive into the world of science, technology, engineering, and math. Get your safety goggles, cause we're making things explode. Science is so fun, so let's take it on the road. Meet a young scientist just like you and learn all about what they do. We'll even learn science that's in the news through one-on-one interviews with SCFGLive and friends. Experimenting never ends. Now let's see what's in store. Just press play and get ready to explore. Ho, 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 hey, hey. Ho, 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 hey, hey.
Hi, everyone. It's so great to see all of you. And thanks again for coming to another episode of SCFGLive. I'm so happy that you are here because we have an extra special guest today, and actually someone you're going to see a lot of on the show. This is Francesca. Hey, Francesca.
Hi, Anna. So nice to be on the show.
It's great to have you on the show. So what are we going to be talking about today, Francesca?
Today, we are talking about something really cool. We're talking about prosthetics. Now, this word might be a little tricky to say, so let's try it together. Prosthetics. There you go. Nice job.
Awesome. Prosthetics are things that help people to better cope with their everyday lives. And today, we're going to be able to meet people who actually create prosthetic devices, people who use prosthetic devices, and we'll even get to experiment with creating our own prosthetic device. It's going to be a really fun episode.
So what are we waiting for? Let's get started.
Let's go.
Today's word of the day is prosthetics. A prosthetic device, or prosthesis, is a fake body part. When someone loses an arm or a leg, or when a person is born without an arm or a leg, or some other part of their body, they may be able to get a prosthesis, a person-made part that replaces what is missing. Other kinds of prosthesis include artificial heart valves, false teeth, or hearing aids. Prosthetic devices help people to better cope with everyday tasks. So in today's episode, we are going to take a closer look at how prosthetic devices are made and how they are used. As the Summer Olympics come to a close, it's time for the Paralympics. In Tokyo, Japan, more than 4,000 athletes, representing at least 134 nations, will pursue medals in the 2020 Paralympic Games from August 24th to September 5th. The Paralympic Games are a major international sports competition for athletes with disabilities. Some of the events at the Summer Games include cycling, archery, swimming, track and field, and volleyball, to name a few. At the Winter Games, you can find alpine skiing, cross-country skiing, and para-snowboarding. Many of the athletes at the Paralympic Games use wheelchairs or prostheses to move around. Technology is always advancing, and newer prosthetic technology, like carbon fiber blade prosthetics, have allowed the athletes with lower leg limitations to run races faster than ever. Team USA consists of 240 athletes this year. Be sure to look out for Jessica Long in swimming, Melissa Stockwell in the triathlon, and Oksana Masters in cycling.
Hey there, my name is Vanessa Thomas and I am the president of Enable Lowell.
My name is Laura Noon and I'm a sophomore mechanical engineering major at UMass Lowell. I'm also the current secretary for Enable.
Hi, I'm Jimmy and I'm the current vice president of Enable Lowell. We're a student group at UMass Lowell that works on creating assistive devices for people with limb differences. Limb differences are pretty simply differences in someone's limbs, such as they may be missing fingers, their hand, or part of their arm. And so this can make it difficult for them to participate in the activities they'd like to, such as sports, or playing certain musical instruments, or just other activities like riding a bike. So we try to make assistive devices that can help them participate in whatever activity they would like to.
Right now, I'm working on a swim fin device to help someone train for the Paralympics swimming freestyle. In order to make a device such as the swim fin device, we first have to start off with brainstorming, talking to our teammates and coming up with ideas for how we can solve the problem of allowing this person to swim. We then transfer the ideas that we come up with onto a software like SolidWorks.
We typically design our parts using SolidWorks, which is a computer-aided design program, but there are many programs that can be used. When we work on creating a design in SolidWorks, there's a lot to think about, since we'd like to create something comfortable, durable, and fun to use. So we always work together as a team to give each other feedback and improve our designs. We use 3D printing to make most of our devices. There are lots of different kinds of 3D printers, but the ones that we use work by heating up plastic until it melts and ejecting it. The plastic cools quickly and becomes solid again, so we can make it into solid shapes this way. To make parts that are 3D, the printer needs to move up and down, forward and back, and side to side. Here you can see the printer in action. When it prints, it makes the part layer by layer, stacking each layer on top of the last one like a stack of pancakes until a full part is created. What makes 3D printing great is that it can make parts in lots of different shapes and sizes, which is important to us because people come in different shapes and sizes as well. So, 3D printing allows us to make devices that are just the right size for each person.
After the device is 3D printed, we need to assemble it and get it ready to send out to the recipient. We used a PVC pipe and a plastic hand paddle for the fin part of this device. We also used a Velcro strap to ensure that the device stays on tight while she's swimming, and so that if she needs to take it off quickly, she's able to. Once we send the swim fin device to our recipient, they will give us feedback on any problems that they have after testing the device. We then start the process from the beginning and brainstorm any ideas on how we can improve those problems. We repeat this process until we give the recipient the best device that we can.
Hey everyone, I'm Anicia. I'm a rising sophomore at Harvard studying biomedical engineering and American Sign Language. I'm also a mentor with Science Club for Girls. A biomedical engineer is someone who uses engineering concepts in a medical context. And there's a lot of different types of biomedical engineers, but I'm most interested in those that build prosthetic devices. So today I'm super excited to show you how to build your own prosthetic device prototype. When building something like a prosthetic device, I always follow the engineering design process. The engineering design process, or EDP, is a series of steps that engineers use to find a solution to a problem. These steps include defining the problem, brainstorming solutions, designing and building a prototype of the solution, testing the solution, and of course, improving the solution until it's perfect. Okay, let's start with defining the problem. If we were designing a prosthetic device for an individual who lost an arm in an accident, our problem would be that we need to create a prosthetic arm for someone to use for everyday things like eating and getting dressed. Great, we have our problem. Now it's time to brainstorm some solutions. Let's think about the materials we might use for the shape of our design and also what our design would look like. This is pretty simple. We can look at our own arm. We see we have this part of our arm. We have our elbow, which allows our arm to move back and forth. We have our forearm. We have our wrist that connects to our hand and allows us to move our hand like this. And then of course we have our fingers, which allows us to pick things up. So we know in our design, we want something that will model all of these parts of our actual arm. So now for the fun part, it's time to design and build our prototype. And a prototype is a simple model or example that lets you test out your idea before just making the final product. For this activity, you'll need construction paper, any color is fine, 2 wiffle balls or practice golf balls, tape, either masking tape or scotch tape, a single hole punch, and if you don't have a single hole puncher, you can also use a pen, cleaners, scissors, and an aluminum pan, baking pan, something like this. So if we take a look at our arm, we see that this part of our arm is slightly shorter than this part of our arm. So I've cut my construction paper, so this one is a little bit longer than this piece. So we can start with the longer piece, and we're just going to roll it up like this. What we want to do is we want to make sure that our wiffle ball will be able to sit on top and kind of go in just slightly. So we're going to make sure it's that size, not too big or not too small. And once you know that it fits, you can go ahead and put a piece of tape on it. Just like that. Now we can take our smaller piece and pretty much do the same thing, just like that. We'll put our two pieces aside for now. Next, we're going to take our aluminum pan and we're going to cut a shape out just like this. And you want to be careful because this is a little bit sharp. So, and now we have a shape that looks like this once you unfold that part. So, looks just like this. And we can take our piece and we can also sort of roll it just like this. Keep rolling, keep rolling. And once again, we're going to take one of our wiffle balls and sort of sit it in there and make sure when we roll it around, the wiffle ball will be able to sit right inside. And once you have the perfect size, you can go ahead and take your hole punch or take your pin if you don't have one. And you're just going to make a hole right here and right here. So on both sides of our fold, just like that. We have our two holes. And now we can take our wiffle ball, we can sit it right inside. And this is where we would use our pipe cleaners. So you're going to want to put the pipe cleaner through one hole and then put it through a hole in your wiffle ball as well. So now you see the pipe cleaner is inside. And now it's through the ball and the foil, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the other piece through the other hole. So it looks something like this. And then all we have to do is pull it closed, just like that. And then we can go ahead and tie the pipe cleaners together. I want to make sure that our wiffle ball sits sort of outside of this. And now we have that, we can go ahead and cut off these loose ends of the pipe cleaner. Just like that. So now we have our wrist joint, and we have, this will be our hand, and we're going to add fingers to it. And I think it looks really cool with the aluminum pan. It gives it like a sort of metallic effect to it. So we can go ahead and put this aside, and we can go back to our pieces of construction paper, and we're going to do the exact same thing where we put hole punches on both sides and then put the pipe cleaner right through the paper, the wiffle ball, and then the other side of the paper. So now we're going to take our smaller piece of paper and we're going to do the same thing, put a hole punch on both sides. Just like that. What we're going to do is connect these two pieces together, so then the ball will help us move back and forth. So we'll take another pipe cleaner, put it through one end of our paper, put it through one end of our wiffle ball and back the other side, like that. And then back through our other side of our paper. And now we see that it's connected, and we see that this is able to move just like we're able to do this. So you can cut the excess piece of the pipe cleaner, or you can tuck it back through the wiffle ball, anything just to hide it and put it out of the way. So now that we have the top part of our arm, our elbow, and the forearm, we're going to connect our hand to our arm. So we're going to take this end And again, put hole punch through. Take our pipe cleaner through this side and up, through our wiffle ball and out the other end. And then through the other end of our paper, just like that. And I'm gonna pull it, just like this. And now we see we have our ball as our joint and into our arm, and we're able to move our hand like this. So now all we have to do left is add fingers. And now we have our prosthetic arm. With a wrist joint for our hand, we can wave, and our joint for our arm. So if you sit it like this, you can see it works just like our actual arm. And there you go. So, of course, with the engineering design process, this is just our prototype, and we can see that there's room for improvement always. So you can see right here, falls a little bit further down into this tube, which makes it a little bit difficult to move back and forth. So in our next design, we would want to make sure we can stabilize this ball in the middle so it can evenly move back and forth. And that's my favorite part of the engineering design process, rebuilding. A lot of times the first model doesn't work as well as we would like, and we need to start at the beginning and redesign. And this is just how things are able to get better and better, and how we're able to live in a world where things actually function. We have to keep going and try again until we get it right.
Haslet. Hi, I am a runner, I am a speaker, so I get to travel the globe and speak to different companies and different people like you here. And I am originally from Seattle, Washington, but I moved to Boston about 11 or so years ago. I love to travel, and I really, really love running. When I was really little, about 7 or 8, which is about the ages of you here that are watching, I saw a video of Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire dancing, and there are some really famous dancers, old-fashioned dancers, and I wanted to be Ginger Rogers when I grew up, and I desperately wanted to be a dancer, so I took a bunch of classes, and I practiced really hard, and I became a professional ballroom dancer. So I danced professionally for, probably 15-ish years, and I made it up to 3rd in the world. And that was really, really exciting. And I got to dress up and dance all over the globe. And then I hurt my foot really badly, and I got into surgery, and the doctors couldn't fix it. So they gave me a new foot, and that's why I have a prosthetic leg now. And since then, I've been able to run marathons. I was not a runner before. I took up running after losing my leg, and I love it so much. I find it really freeing and really challenging in all the best ways. Prosthetics have helped me so much. I mean, what I call my everyday leg, which is the leg I wear all the time, I'm able to get up and walk across the room to go make some coffee or make some dinner. I'm able to walk to the bathroom and be able to do the things that I need to do to function in an everyday society. I'm able to work, I'm able to get on airplanes. If I didn't have that, I would probably be on crutches or in a wheelchair, because you can't walk with only one foot. And it would really limit me in my mobility. And then my running leg, I'm able to go really fast. As soon as I put on my running leg, I just feel like taking off and going really fast, really far. Kind of like when you get a brand new pair of sneakers and you're like, take off and run circles around siblings and stuff. I love it. And so prosthetics have been a game changer for me. It's also a confidence booster, right? Like if I put on my leg and I toe up to the line at a race, I know that I can have a chance to maybe win or come in pretty close to winning of those races. So it helps me build confidence in myself and makes me feel whole. I think if I were to give you one piece of advice, it is to don't forget to celebrate and be a cheerleader for yourself. So we always talk about cheering on others. Absolutely, we want to do that, especially as young girls and women. But we also want to cheer on ourselves. It's also about cheering on and making sure that we're celebrating all the little things and not just the finish line. I had a really good friend tell me at the beginning of my very first marathon, he looked at me and I was really nervous and scared, and I was unprepared. But he looked at me and said, Adrianne, what will get you to the finish line is nothing compared to what got you to the start. And that's true. So we need to remember that when we have something really challenging in front of us, we need to remember all the things that we did behind us already to get us to that point. So we've already prepared ourselves, even though it might look like there's a mountain in front of us. So my advice would be to celebrate the small things and realize how far you've already come instead of the challenge ahead. Thank you for having me, and I hope to see you again soon.
Wow, that was another fantastic episode of SCFG Live.
It was so amazing to see how technology, like prosthetic devices, help people to live better lives. And it was amazing to meet Adrianne. She is truly an inspiration.
Yeah, and it was also really cool to see how we can build our own prosthetic devices at home like Anicia did. I definitely want to try that out when this is done.
Well, thanks for joining us on another great episode. We're excited to see you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.